The U.S. Department of Justice now investigating Tennessee's largest prison. This after years of complaints from inmates, their families, staff, and activists. Thanks for joining us. I'm Rory Johnston.
And I'm Hunter Hoagland. A lot to get to here at 6 o'clock. So many of you have written us with your concerns about loved ones who are currently incarcerated at Trousdale Turner Correctional Center. We are committed to getting to the root of what's happening and want to bring you the answers that you deserve.
For years, there have been allegations that inmate gangs essentially run the prison, allegedly extorting money from inmates' families to ensure their loved ones' safety behind the walls. Nashville Banner's Demetria Kaladimos was among the very first reporters to investigate the stories coming out of the Trousdale Turner Correctional Center. And I know you're once again taking a close look at this CoreCivic run prison.
That's right. And I remember when Trousdale opened fewer than 10 years ago. And judging from the state audit findings and now this DOJ probe, not much has changed since its troubled launch. There is a woman here in Middle Tennessee who's been trying to understand how her brother died there, why she had to pay other inmates to get him into drug treatment. She is convinced the extortion money meant to facilitate his recovery bought the so-called hot shot that killed him. We need to warn you, this story could be disturbing to some of you. The online videos emphasize care and compassion.
80% of the people incarcerated have some drug-related issues going on. One day, they're going to get out. So why not try to treat them? Why not try to help them?
CoreCivic says it understands the prisoners who come into the system addicted.
We're going to teach you something different. Basically, that when you have the urge to use drugs, there's a way to deal with that. My name is...
He really wanted to be sober. He kept calling, saying he had this program he could get into. Then he called telling us he had to have money for this program. And I'm like, Josh, you're a state inmate. This is something that should be given to you.
Joshua Mince has been gone for 2 years now. He died while incarcerated at Trousdale Turner, the state's largest prison, run by a private company.
And he's saying, no, he had to pay these inmates to get on this list. I said, Josh, that's not right. And he said, if I don't do it, I'm going to die. I said, what do you mean you're going to die? He said, either I'm going to have to overdose on these drugs to get into the program or they're going to kill me with them. And he cried.
We teach how to live in a community.
The family scrambled to get the money together.
We've got to come up with this money.
And how much was it?
$350. It was sent to 2 cash apps that linked back to 2 inmates. One of them is a lifer, and the other one just made parole.
He made parole?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the TDOC website, the second of those inmates is not housed currently at Trousdale, and he hasn't made parole yet. He's scheduled for a hearing at the end of this month. This cell phone video supplied to the family of Joshua Mince purports to show the last day of his life.
Okay, you watched the video, the long-haired guy that's standing over the man in the floor?
Yeah.
That was my brother, hours before his own death. He was saving an overdosed inmate. Where was the help for when he needed it?
Fellow inmates seem to not even notice, and it's unclear how quickly it took a guard to respond. Who took the video, do you know?
Yes, ma'am, and other inmates.
Obviously with a cell phone.
Yes, ma'am. That's how I found out the truth. He got in my inbox, and he said, if you want to know what really happened to your brother, call this number. And that's how I knew the truth of my brother. I went on that Trousdale Turner Close It Down website on Facebook, and I was like, dude, I need answers. My brother's dead. He made the sad face on my comments, and he got in my inbox immediately. And he says, if you want to know what happened to your brother, call this number. And I just immediately called. I didn't care who it was. And I got my brother's autopsy from supposed to be an investigator that works at the prison, but nobody's ever heard of this person. So I truly think it was somebody from the inside of that penitentiary that sent my brother's autopsy to me. It was a hot shot. There was enough drugs in his system. If you can't, on the autopsy, they said there was enough drugs in his system to kill 15 inmates. And I look at it as if he paid for his own death.
After raising that money, the family never saw Joshua alive again. One of his very last letters home described a bad beating. I'm in protective custody. The vice lords were extorting my 55-year-old cellmate and I intervened. Joshua described a fractured nose, 2 deep cuts, detached retina, and a chipped tooth. He said, I'm trying hard to get transferred to TDOC.
That was my brother's handwritten letter to his wife. I want my brother's name vindicated. Because all we got told was he was a junkie. He died because he was a junkie. And I know that's not what happened.
CoreCivic refused an interview but did respond to questions about drug treatment. They say from 2018 through 2023, 650 participants successfully completed drug treatment at Trousdale Turner, averaging about 108 inmates a year. But that data is nearly 2 years old. The company says there is no additional charge for treatment programs. But as for the case of Joshua Mince dies, CoreCivic told us, we are not aware of any such allegations. It's important to know that we take claims like these seriously and have a zero tolerance policy for that type of behavior. But it's a story I heard 10 years ago, and it keeps happening apparently.
And the families, they want answers. So frustrating, right?
Yeah, and they don't get the answers they need.
Really hope she gets the closure. Demetria, solid reporting. Thank you.